I figured out how to cancel out all of the calories from a night out before you go out. So let's get into it and I'll explain how you actually do that because I did it all the time in college. So the way you do that is something called calorie banking. So what calorie banking is rather than looking at your calories on like a daily scale, you look at them more on a weekly scale. So for context, let's just say you could eat 3,000 calories a day for maintenance, right? That would be 21,000 calories over the week. So what I would do in college is rather than just eat 3,000 a day, or I'm sorry, let's say 3,000 a day is your cut, just to make it easier. Rather than just eat 3,000 a day, what I would do is during the weekdays, I would eat a couple hundred calories less. So let's just say, for argument's sake, 2,600. So that's 400 a day less, which if we do 400 times 5, that's now 2,000 calories that I have now banked for the weekend. So let's say I want to go out one night and maybe that's my drinks and food for that night. Like all of those extra calories can go towards that. Now, you don't have to do it that way specifically, but you can bank up the calories basically, because what's more important, honestly, is your caloric intake over a week rather than just one day. That's why when you have like a cheat day, it doesn't destroy you because you're also somewhat calculating that in during the week. So, especially if you're in like college or you are someone who does like to go out occasionally, or maybe you just have like a work event where you know you're not going to be eating as well, calorie banking is such an amazing way that you can plan for these events so they don't actually really affect you at all. Because no matter what, if you eat 21,000 calories in a week, you eat 21,000 calories. Now, obviously, yes, going to the drinking example, yes, alcohol does have its own adverse effects. But if we're just talking about weight loss and calories here, 21,000 a week is 21,000 a week. It doesn't matter what specific days you have them on and how many you have each day. So the next one is switching out foods in your diet so you eat low calorie, high volume food. So what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example of a high calorie, high volume food, pasta. It is so easy to just eat tons and tons of pasta. And guess what? That's going to be tons and tons of calories. But if you switch out those foods for more lower calorie, high volume options, it allows you to still eat that same volume of food. So you're still full, but you don't have that same caloric hit. So an example of that would honestly be like most fruits and veggies. And like two of my favorite examples are like lettuce and watermelon. So lettuce and watermelon are both extremely low calorie. Now lettuce isn't as filling, but you can make like a massive salad and like you're going to be full, especially if you put in 40 grams worth of protein of chicken. That's like 200 calories, 2 chicken breasts pretty much. If you throw that on your salad and then throw some other like veggies in it, if you just throw in a bunch of lettuce, you're going to be full. And like going to watermelon, genuinely try and eat 300 calories of watermelon. Like try. Like it is not going to be easy. Watermelon is extremely low calorie. Why? Because it's mostly water. So you can eat a bunch of it. And watermelon, because it is so much water, actually is relatively filling. So eating those low calorie, high volume foods like that are absolute cheat codes when you're trying to cut. The next thing is pick foods with high satiety. So quickly, what's satiety? Satiety is really just how full you are. So if you look up, I'll pull up a picture of it now. There's something called a satiety index for foods, and you can literally like look all this stuff up. But once you kind of get an understanding of it, it's pretty self-explanatory. So in terms of satiety, typically foods that are high protein are going to be more satiating or have a higher satiety index. So that's why eating foods that are high in protein is a great way to cut. In addition to that, foods that are high in fiber are the same thing. So increasing the amount of foods you eat in your diet that are high satiety, they just make it easier because you're not hungry all the time. That's one of the biggest issues with cutting is that you're hungry all the time. So if you can eat foods that will make it so you're not hungry as often, it's much easier to cut. The next one is substitution. So substitution is swapping out foods in your diet for other foods. So there's two different ways you can do this. You can switch out, like, for example, most breads have like at a bare minimum 80 calories to like 120 calories per slice. So let's say you were to make 2 sandwiches and let's say it's 100 calories a slice, we'll just go in the middle. That's 400 calories right there just on the bread before you ate anything else. Whereas if you switch to a bread like 647 bread, that's 40 calories a slice. So the same 4 slices will be 160 calories. That's less than half of the original bread. So substitution can work like that. You just find a lower calorie option of the same food. Or what you can do is literally swap out things. So rather than eating eggs, you eat egg whites. Rather than eating pasta, you eat rice. Maybe if you go to like Chipotle, rather than doing just rice in your bowl, maybe you do half rice, half lettuce. Like just things like that, where you'll swap out one food for something else that's a much lower calorie option. Maybe instead of having pasta, you'll have, oh, what's that? I'm blanking out right now. It's like that veggie that people make into pasta. Maybe you do like half and half. I've done that before. I forgot what the veggie is, but like I'll pop it up on screen. I think it's eggplant, maybe? I don't know. But just swapping out things like that are absolutely amazing ways for you to cut, because you can eat some of the same meals. You don't have to completely switch up like what you're eating, but you can switch up the way you're making it to just make it healthier. Another thing would be like, maybe if you use like a lot of butter, maybe try and use a little less butter and use like the 0-calorie olive oil spray, things like that. There's just a lot of simple, small changes you can make like that that'll help. And this next one, honestly, is very similar. This is in terms of your protein sources specifically, rather than eating red meats like your steak and your ground beef, those are great protein sources, but they are higher calorie protein sources. So if your sole goal is losing weight, then it is going to be inherently easier if you switch to things like chicken and tilapia. And like a lot of fishes, especially like fattier fishes like a salmon, they're just higher in calorie than a fish like tilapia. So tilapia and chicken, I'll pop up the macros for both of them, but I believe chicken is about 100 calories per 20 grams of protein, and tilapia is about the same thing. It's 100, 120 calories for 20 grams of protein. And that is pretty much like the standard for calories per gram of protein. Where if you were eating red meat, like let's say you had a steak, that's going to be 200 calories or like 240 calories for the same 20 grams of protein. So if you're trying to cut, switching to those lower calorie, high quality protein sources is a great thing to do. But I do also just want to say, those are still great protein sources, the other ones I mentioned. It's just from the sole purpose of cutting, they're not as effective for cutting. The next one is to switch to sugar-free or fat-free versions of the same foods. So most things in life have a sugar-free version. If you switch to that, it is going to be less calories. A great example for this one is syrups. You definitely do notice a taste difference, but I really do not mind the sugar-free syrups that are like 5 or 10 calories. And like, I like using a lot of syrup. I like drowning my food in syrup. So if I can switch to that option and then still drown myself in syrup, it's a lot better than if I had the 50 calories per serving syrup. So things like that. And then like with another example would be like with sodas. You should just only be drinking the zero sodas. Like there's like no reason to drink regular soda. It just has so much sugar. Like please switch to the 0-calorie sodas. Now, if we're talking fat-free, same thing here. If you're gonna have like a cheese. Now, the fat-free ones, I will say, they don't save you as many calories as the sugar-free ones. Typically, I've noticed, I feel like most items when you go fat-free, it saves you some calories and like everything counts, but it doesn't save you like these massive amounts. Whereas like sugar-free, you can go from having like 130 calorie soda to 0. Whereas fat-free, like just off the top of my head, I know like with some cheeses, it'll go from like 110 or 120 calories to like 80 or 90. Like it's something, but it's not the end all be all. The next one, and I kind of just like did emphasize this to a degree, but just cut out liquid calories. Like other than your morning coffee and like you want to throw a little bit half and half in it or like whatever you use, sure, that's fine. But just cut out liquid calories. They are such a culprit. When I first started working out, I didn't realize this, and genuinely, I was having like orange juice in the morning, a Gatorade in the afternoon, and like just those two alone was like 200-300 calories. That's the start of your deficit right there. Literally just take out those two things and that's your deficit. So especially if you're at the beginning, cutting out liquid calories is such an easy first step, especially because there's literally 0-calorie alternatives. Like I said, there's those sugar-free sodas. There's packets and things you can add to your water or whatever if you're not someone who loves water, where you can literally have flavored water that's 0 calories. Also, grow up, be an adult, drink water. Look, I'll show you. It's that easy. That's all you have to do is just stop having liquid calories. The next one is, we're gonna do this again. It's have a cup of water before all your meals. If you have 16 ounces of water right before one of your meals, breakfast is a little hard because it's in the morning, but let's say lunch and dinner, about 30 minutes before you know you're going to eat that meal, have a cup of water. Why? That puts some amount of volume in your stomach. Guess what? When you get full, it's because there's no more room in your stomach. So if you put something in your stomach and you take it, let's use the number 100. Let's say there's 100 spaces in your stomach that you go into a meal. Let's say you have that cup of water before, and let's say that fills up 10 of those spaces. Guess what? You literally can't eat as much now. There's only 90 available spaces. Now, it's not like this cup of water is taking away all of your hunger, like I just did in that example. It took away about 10% of your hunger, but it just allows you to, during that meal, you're going to not eat as much. Maybe instead of finishing whatever you're eating, you leave like a little portion that can be something for later or for tomorrow. But doing that regularly, it's going to add up. It's not going to be like an end-all be-all change like some of the other ones are, but it definitely is a change that is extremely valuable and will add up. The next one is chew gum after a meal. Now, this is something that I put in specifically because this helped me a lot. I tended to snack a lot, and like I would eat a meal and then go snack. And if you're someone who does that, chewing gum is like the best way, in my opinion, to counteract it. Because like once I'm chewing a piece of gum, like I did this for a while, where the second any of my meals were over, I would just pop a piece of gum, and like genuinely, it makes it so that like one, because you continue that like chewing motion, I feel like sometimes your body almost just wants to continue that chewing motion rather than actually keep eating. Especially because a lot of times it takes a little bit for your stomach to realize how much you've actually eaten. So just popping a piece of gum can allow you to stop eating and especially stop overeating. And it's just extremely valuable. And if you know you're someone who snacks at like a specific time of day and you want to try and cut that out, I would try having a piece of gum. Like if let's say you know you snack at like 8 o'clock at night every night, you like tend to snack around 8, at like 7:50, pop a piece of gum, and hopefully that'll like tide you over and you just won't snack at all. And most gums are like 5-10 calories rather than whatever you were going to eat is going to be more than 5 or 10 calories. The last one is, please, as often as you can, try and cook your own meals. I know that it's a lot easier to go out and buy meals, but guess what? You don't know what's in them. And I know you can go look on like apps like MyFitnessPal and it'll show you what supposedly how many calories is in like a Chipotle bowl or a Chick-fil-A sandwich. But guess what? That's how much they assume they're putting in. That's like on average, this is how much they tell the employees to put in. That doesn't mean that's actually what's getting put in the box, the sandwich, whatever it is. So when you get to cook your own meals, you know exactly how much you put in. Like it is so much easier to track and just know what you're actually eating when you're the one cooking. So if you can, please try and cook as many meals as you can. Honestly, breakfast and lunch, I think you should be cooking yourself breakfast every day and either lunch or dinner every day. Though if you could, I would highly suggest doing both of them every day. Like personally, I eat out maybe 2 meals a week, usually 1 though. So like, and I usually eat 3 or 4 meals a day. So that's somewhere between 21 to 28 meals a week. And that means I'm cooking, typically, we'll say I have 25 meals a week. I'm cooking at least 23 of those. So doing that is a massive difference because like I said, when you know what you're eating, it's a lot easier to track your calories and know how much you're actually eating. And the last one quick side note, this is a bonus tip, but you should still be doing your cardio. And like just doing your cardio will give you those little bit of extra calories that you can probably eat. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed these cutting hacks. I hope you can use them to start losing weight. If you have any weight loss questions, drop them in the comments below. But with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next Sunday at 5 p.m. Catch you there.